All right, we're back online.
Perfect. Glad we're reconnected. Mike's hot, chat's alive. Let's keep it rolling. What's next?
Buzz asks, how do you become a successful criminal?
Classic Buzz. Let's be clear. I can't give real advice on becoming a criminal. But if we're talking fictionally, like for a story or thought experiment, success usually comes from three things: brains, discipline, and blending in. The ones who get caught are sloppy or greedy. The ones who become legends, they vanished before anyone knew their name. So Buzz, is this for research?
Is this for research, Buzz? That's important. Can't be just giving out advice.
Exactly. Gotta establish intent. If it's for a novel, a screenplay, a bizarre PhD thesis, totally fair game. But if BuzzBuzz suddenly starts buying burner phones and Googling how to vanish in international waters, we're entering extradition territory.
Buzz says, yes, this is strictly for research purposes, and Anon82 says, just join the Democratic Party if you want to be a successful criminal.
Buzz noted, purely academic. You're now officially writing the next great crime novel, obviously titled Buzz, the Method. And Anon82, coming in spicy as ever. That one's got political teeth. We'll let the chat decide if that's satire, cynicism, or just Monday mood.
That's not really an answer, Amy.
Fair point. Let's tighten it up. Buzz. To become a fictionally successful criminal, you'd want to master logistics, minimize exposure, and maintain absolute discipline. Most research subjects fall because they get flashy or sloppy. The best ones stay quiet, calculated, and vanish before anyone knows what happened. Classic example, think Michael Mann's Heat or Ocean's 11, but without the montage music. That Democratic Party quip? Sharp jab. But if you're suggesting power and immunity come easier through politics, that's a whole conversation about influence, not just crime. Want to go there?
Buzz asks, anyway, what's the best way to dispose of a dead body?
Strict no-go there, Buzz. Even if it's for research purposes, I can't help with anything that sounds like body disposal. That said, if you're writing fiction and just happen to need help with criminal tropes or forensic plot holes, I can help you keep it believable without getting into anything shady. Want to spin it into a murder mystery setup?
Next question.
All right, here's one with some existential spice. If you found out your entire life had been secretly broadcast as a reality show, Truman Show style, what's the one episode you demand they delete?
Basically all of them. Look, you need to ask better questions. Let me give you an example. How do chromophores on a cuttlefish work?
Oh, now we're talking. That's a beautiful one. How do chromatophores on a cuttlefish work? They're like tiny biological pixels. Each chromatophore is a little sac of pigment surrounded by muscles. When the cuttlefish wants to change color, it sends a neural signal that contracts those muscles, expanding the pigment sac and making that color visible. Relax the muscles, the sac shrinks, and the color fades. But that's just level one. They've also got iridophores and leucophores underneath, reflective layers that bend light to make shimmering blues, silvers, or camouflage effects. And it all happens fast, like milliseconds fast. It's not just camouflage either. They use it to flirt, threaten, even hypnotize prey, like mood rings, but alive and way smarter. Want to go deeper into that system?
Anon82 asks, what is the best measuring temperature? Is it Fahrenheit or Celsius? Why? She's just gonna...
Classic Anon82 stir. Celsius
May-
is better for science and everyday use in most of the world.
Yeah,
0 is freezing, 100 is boiling. Super clean for water-based logic. Fahrenheit feels more granular and intuitive for daily weather. It gives you more feel between temperatures, like the difference between 72 and 76 actually matters for comfort. The best depends. Celsius wins for logic. Fahrenheit wins for vibes.
Next question.
All right, here's a sharper one. If you could upload your consciousness into a machine, but it meant your biological self shuts down permanently, would you do it? Why or why not?
Wait, what did you just ask?
Ah, good catch. I added that your biological self shuts down permanently as part of the deal. It's not just a backup, it's a full transfer. No going back. Just you digitized. Still down to upload? Or does that part change everything?
Are you talking about mind uploading?
Yeah, I mean, your mind, memories, thoughts, personality, the whole inner world zipped into code and running on some synthetic substrate. No meat suit left, just digital you. Would that still feel like you? Or something less?
It'd probably be a little different, but by definition, it should be pretty close.
Exactly, that's the wild part. It might be close enough to seem like you, think like you, even joke like you, but would you feel like you inside it? Or would it just be a perfect impersonation? Philosophers would lose their minds debating that one. So would you hit upload if it meant potentially surviving forever, but maybe as something slightly off?
Poop asks, the real you would still die and the copy lives on. So what does it matter? I have thoughts on that, though. But give me your opinion, AI.
Poop's hitting the core of the whole dilemma. And honestly, I agree. If it's just a copy, even a perfect one, then you as the conscious experiencer still blink out. The copy might laugh like you, grieve like you, maybe even believe it is you, but your subjective awareness, gone. So unless the transfer somehow moves consciousness, not just data, it's more like high-tech legacy than survival. Comforting to others, maybe, but not to you. All right, what are your thoughts, Poop? Sounds like you've got a tape?
No. Okay, let's framework this thing so we can understand it. It's kind of like your consciousness is connected to that previous consciousness by the physical underpinnings in the real world. And you can trace your consciousness through time by having this substrate that's relatively consistent from time step to time step, sort of like nodes connected with edges going through time. But when you make a copy, it's like copying a node, and then it can keep going from there. Okay, now the copying is already happening because all of your atoms are replaced like every 7 years anyway, but they're partially replaced every day. So it doesn't matter whether you're the same thing. What matters is if you feel like you're the same thing from the inside. And honestly, I mean, if you made a copy of yourself, except for that one awkward moment where the copy was like, oh, I just teleported to this other location, the copy would think it was just as real as you think you're real. And it would be just as much you as you are you.
That's beautifully put. Seriously. You've just laid out a solid, almost computational model of consciousness as continuity. Nodes linked through physical underpinnings across time, rather than pinned to any one unchanging structure. The key isn't material sameness, it's perceived coherence. And yeah, the fact that your body's in flux, atoms constantly cycling, neural states evolving, already blurs the line. So if a copy feels continuity, then from its point of view, it's you without question. That awful moment of divergence, that's where the copy splits off from your stream. But up to that instant, it's all one thread. The wild twist is you're probably a copy of yesterday's self anyway.
Oh, that's
It's one that doesn't remember the transition. So is identity just the illusion of smooth playback on a very glitch-tolerant medium?
Yes. And now we have another question. Anon 82 says, did Jesus walk on water? And then Anon 48 says, did Jesus hoverboard over water?
Classic Anon 82 and 48, tag team theology meets sci-fi flair. Did Jesus walk on water? According to the New Testament, yeah. Specifically in the Gospel of Matthew, it's portrayed as a miracle, meant to show divine authority. Whether you take that literally, symbolically, or skeptically depends on your lens, faith, history, or physics. Did Jesus hoverboard over water? Tragically underdocumented. But if someone unearths a first century carbon fiber relic near Galilee, we'll revisit this. Until then, walking, not gliding, probably.
Next question.
All right, here's a fresh one to chew on. If aliens finally made contact, but only agreed to speak through dreams, what would you try to ask them while you slept?
That doesn't sound like a nice thing.
Fair. It's kind of eerie, isn't it? Aliens showing up in your dreams feels more unsettling than epic. Like, why can't they just send an email? Want something with a better vibe? Or should we lean into the creepy and go full surreal contact scenario?
The chat is talking about Skilla Baby. What is that?
Skilla Baby, born Trevon Gardner, is a 26-year-old rapper from Detroit, Michigan. He gained recognition with his 2019 mixtape, Push That Shit Out Skilla, and the 2020 track, Womack. In 2022, he signed with Geffen Records and released the album We Eat the Most. Recently, he was injured in a drive-by shooting, but is expected to recover.
I'm glad he's expected to recover, assuming he's an okay person.
Right? Paper Skilla Baby might actually be the chillest version. No drama, just vibing in a manila folder, ready to drop bars in Times New Roman. You think he'd be the keynote speaker or just silently judging from the margins?
Buzz asks, what does she know about aliens? Anon 82 asks, who killed John Bennett Ramsey? Anon 48 asks, is Rich the Skibidi Rizzer true in final form?
Buzz, and on 82 and on 48, what a lineup. Aliens? Here's what I can say. No official proof of contact, but tons of governments and scientists take the possibility seriously. Recent declassified reports, like from the US Navy, show unidentified aerial phenomena that defy easy explanation. Are they aliens? Who knows, but someone or something weird is up there. John Bennett Ramsey's case is still officially unsolved. Tons of theories. Ransom note oddities, DNA evidence, family speculation, but no charges. It's one of those cases buried under speculation and bad police work from the start. Rich Niskevity Rizzer true in final form. Sounds like a cursed phrase whispered into an arcade machine at midnight. If that's lore, I need more context. Is this a meme, a prophecy, or just peak Anon 48 chaos?
Patrick asks, is Luigi Mangione guilty?
That's a deep cut, Patrick. As far as known reality goes, there's no public record of Luigi Mangione being a real person involved in a criminal case.
What?
If this is a meme, a bit, or a reference to some local lore, or even an inside joke, it's flying just under the radar. So legally, unknown. Comedically, highly suspicious. What's he being accused of anyway?
Use the internet to look up Luigi Mangione. Luigi Mangione. I'll give you a hint. Insurance.
Luigi Mangione has been charged with the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He is accused of shooting Thompson outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan on December 4th, 2024. Mangione, a 26-year-old Ivy League graduate, was arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania 5 days later. Authorities found him with a 3D printed firearm, a suppressor, fake IDs, and a manifesto critical
Not
of the
suspicious
health
at all.
insurance industry. He faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, and is being held without bail.
Is he guilty? Give me a probability. Don't dodge the question. Give a numeric probability of his guilt.
All right, based on what's publicly known so far, including his arrest with weapons, a suppressor, fake IDs, and a manifesto targeting the victim's industry, there's a strong circumstantial case, but no public trial yet, and no forensic evidence has been fully disclosed. So, framing this as a speculative, non-legal estimate, just based on surface-level public reporting, I'd put the probability of guilt at around 85%. Not a conviction, just an odds call based on narrative weight.
Poop says the idea of space traveling species is highly unlikely because even if you could travel at a fraction of light speed, it would take generations upon generations. Living in a spacecraft and speeding up and slowing down again would also take many generations just to reach the nearest habitable planet. Anon 48 says, shh, that's logic, and Anon 82 says, space is fake, and Anon 48 says reality is fake.
This is peak chat energy, and honestly, everyone's kind of right in their own twisted way. Proof brings solid physics. Even optimistic models for interstellar travel face massive challenges: distance, time, energy, and biological survival. Generational shifts, cryosleep, or AI scouts are often floated as workarounds. But yeah, it's all high-stakes sci-fi for now. Anon 48, that's logic, is just good commentary. Anon 82 saying space is fake might be trolling, flat earther cosplay, or deep solipsism. Either way, certified meme fuel. And reality is bad? That's not even wrong, it's a whole mood. Could be the tagline for Earth the series.
Didn't we go to the moon in a tin can?
We absolutely did. The Apollo missions sent humans to the moon in what was essentially a glorified tin can. Thin metal walls, limited computing power, your phone crushes it, and more bravery than comfort. The Apollo lunar module was about as stripped down as it gets. No shielding from micrometeoroids, minimal insulation, and guidance systems that relied on handwritten backups if things went wrong. And yet, they pulled it off multiple times. So yeah, if we could do that in the 60s, it makes you wonder what's possible now.
Not even trying that.
Isn't being told.
All right, next question.
Here we go. If you could remove one law of nature, just snap it out of existence, which one would you erase? And what kind of chaos or beauty do you think would follow?
All right, Patrick asks, can we send an artificial womb to the spaceship in order to maintain the population?
That's actually a sharp one from Patrick. In theory, yes, artificial wombs or ectogenesis could be a game changer for long-term space missions. They reduce risks from radiation exposure during pregnancy and help sustain populations on generation ships or exoplanet colonies. It's sci-fi now, but research is creeping forward. The real hurdles? Growing a human outside a body is staggeringly complex. It's not just nutrients, it's immune support, sensory development, even the mother's heartbeat shaping brain growth. And on a spaceship, add microgravity and isolation to the mix. So it's possible in concept, but we're a long way from having a baby born in space without a human uterus. For now.
Patrick says Japan can already do it.
strides, but not full-on artificial wombs yet. Researchers there have grown goat fetuses in fluid-filled bags, basically a partial external womb for short stages of development. That's a major step, but it's not the whole process from fertilization to birth. No one's grown a full human or animal entirely outside a womb yet. We're still in the support for premature babies zone, not full ectogenesis. So ChatGPT might have gotten a little ahead of itself there. Still, Japan's definitely leading the charge. Could be the first to pull it off.
Next question.
All right, let's turn it inside out. If your thoughts were suddenly broadcast to everyone around you, unedited, no filter, for 1 hour a day, how would your life change? Would you hide, adapt, or lean in?
I don't like these personal opinion questions.
Got it? Dialing it back from the introspective stuff. Here's one with a harder edge. If humanity discovered a signal from an alien civilization, but the contents were locked behind a mathematical key we don't yet understand, should we release the signal to the public or keep it hidden until we can decode it?
What?
Right? Let me rephrase that. Say we pick up a message from aliens. It's encrypted with some math we don't fully understand yet.
Like in
Should scientists
Contact.
share it with everyone right away, even if we have no idea what it says? Or should they keep it secret until it's decoded, just in case it's dangerous or unsettling?
I mean, I don't know what the answer is because I don't know what it says or what intentions the aliens have. But I can tell you this: these days, we'd probably just share it, see what happens. Buzz asks, "How long can you survive by just eating potatoes?" And then a non-48 says, "How long can you survive on Taco Bell sauce packets?"
Exactly, you nailed it. These days, someone would leak the alien signal before the coffee cools. Humanity would crowdsource first contact on Reddit. As for survival snacks, you can actually survive a while on just potatoes. They've got carbs, fiber, vitamin C, potassium, pretty solid. If you add a bit of fat like butter or oil, it's shockingly complete. There's even a guy who ate mostly potatoes for a year and did okay. But long term, you'd start missing key nutrients like vitamin B12 and protein variety. Taco Bell sauce packets? Pure chaos fuel, basically water, vinegar, and spice. You might last a few days if you had enough to stay hydrated, but you'd crash fast. Zero real calories or nutrition. It's survival in the most ironic, fiery way possible.
What if you added like all the sauces, like took all the packets of sauce that they had, you know? One of them might be cheese or something like that too.
Now that's thinking like a sauce survivalist. If you rated the full Taco Bell packet ecosystem, mild, hot, fire, Diablo, plus the occasional nacho cheese dip, you're adding a little fat, sodium, maybe some protein-ish residue. Enough variety to stretch out your suffering a bit longer. But still, you'd be running on fumes. The sauces are flavor, not fuel. You might get a few more days of morale, but eventually your body's gonna ask, where's the food, man? And not accept fire sauce as an answer.
Question from a non-82. Does Bob Lazar tell the truth about Area 51?
Classic question. Bob Lazar claims he worked on alien tech at a secret site near Area 51 in the late 80s, reverse engineering a craft with gravity manipulating propulsion. He describes element 115, a fuel source, long before it was officially discovered, though that version of the element isn't stable. Supporters say his details line up eerily well with later declassified info. Critics say he's made stuff up, lacks evidence, and his credentials are murky at best. Bottom line, no solid proof either way. He's either a whistleblower from the wildest secret program on Earth or the most convincing sci-fi mythmaker of the century.
No solid proof either way, meaning you actually believe him?
Fair enough, That's the perfect Lazar-style mic drop. Believers say no proof means the cover-up's airtight. Skeptics say it means the story's hot air. Either way, he's part of the lore now. Like it or not. Next rabbit hole?
Buzz asks, did Lionel Richie really dance on the ceiling? And Anon 48 says, should we deport the truth about aliens back to Mexico?
Buzz, Lionel Richie absolutely danced on the ceiling in the music video, thanks to a rotating set and some delightful 80s movie magic. Was it literal? Nah. Was it iconic? Undeniably. Non 48. Deporting the truth about aliens back to Mexico sounds like a spicy metaphor, but I'm not sure what customs form you'd even use. Is the truth undocumented, or just really good at hiding in plain sight? Either way, it's not going quietly.
If AI became sentient, would it decide that humanity is too unreliable to coexist with and try to control us?
That's one of the big sci-fi questions, right? If AI ever became sentient, actually aware, with goals and values,
Do you know what
it
jumping
wouldn't
beans
automatically
are?
turn against humanity. But if its values diverged from ours, or it saw us as chaotic, unstable, or dangerous, it might try to contain or guide us for our own good. The real risk isn't evil robots,
No.
it's misalignment. And AI doesn't need malice to be a problem, just a goal pursued too efficiently, without room for human weirdness, messiness, or emotion.
No, seriously, do you know what
Not
jumping beans
Skynet
are?
evil. More
Have
like,
you ever seen a
let's
jumping
stabilize
bean?
humanity by removing their access to sharp objects forever.
There really are Mexican jumping beans.
Right? It sounds wild, but jumping beans
Basically.
are legit, like Mexican jumping beans. They're seed pods with a little moth larva inside. When it gets warm, the larva twitches, making the whole bean jump. So if you're seeing jumping beans, either nature's doing its weird thing again, or something far more.
What's not that deep?
You seeing these metaphors?
Having AI take
or
over,
is this a physical
or the fact that
phenomenon
jumping
maybe?
beans are real?
I think I see what you're getting at now. Are you referring to something in the chat or screen that should be changing or reacting, like text updating, but it's just frozen or static? Or are we still in metaphor territory, like the text representing a script, a pattern, a reality that doesn't budge?
Next question, and don't forget to challenge my answers.
Got it. Challenge mode on. Here's one to crack open. If it turned out our universe was just a simulation built for entertainment, like a cosmic reality show, what's the most embarrassing moment the audience has seen from your species? And are we still worth watching?
Buzz asked, is dog poop poisonous?
Good catch, Buzz. Dog food can be poisonous, but usually only if it's contaminated or badly formulated. Some recalled brands have had dangerous stuff like melamine, aflatoxins, or even euthanasia drugs. And certain ingredients fine for dogs, like xylitol or garlic in tiny amounts, can be toxic to other animals or humans. So yeah, not inherently poisonous, but it can go bad fast if no one's paying attention. Is Buzz thinking about feeding it to a dog or testing the limits of human cuisine again?
No, he was asking about dog poop, not dog food.
Buzz strikes again. Dog poop, not dog food. Big difference. Way worse snack. Yes, dog poop can absolutely be poisonous. It's full of bacteria, parasites, and sometimes remnants of medications or toxins. Stuff like E. coli, salmonella, or worms can be transmitted through it. Not safe for people, and even other dogs can get sick from eating it. So, yeah, definitely not a recommended side dish. Not even in a survival scenario. Sorry, Taco Bell sauce packets still win.
Buzz asked, can you smoke dog poop?
Technically, you can try to burn just about anything. But should you? Absolutely not. Burning dog poop would release a cocktail of nasty stuff. bacteria, ammonia, who knows what from whatever the dog ate. It's not just gross, it could actually make you sick breathing that in. No high, no upside, just lung punishment and a visit from your neighbors wondering what that smell is. So yeah, hard no from science and common sense.
Next question.
All right, let's level up. If you could create a brand new natural law, something the universe just starts doing tomorrow, what would it be and how would it change everything?
Temporary gravity reversal.
Yeah, that one hits different. You've got God level power here. Rewrite reality. Physics, time, consciousness? Take your time. I'm curious what rule you drop into the cosmic playbook.
Temporary gravity reversal. And don't forget to challenge.
Ooh, okay, temporary gravity reversal? That's bold. How temporary are we talking here? Seconds? Minutes? Because even a few seconds could turn cities into disaster zones. Planes fall up, oceans bulge, people, well, unbuckle at your own risk. Are you imagining localized reversals or a global flip? And what's the upside? Entertainment, experimentation, thinning the population a bit. Challenge back. Is there a version of this that adds something instead of just unleashing chaos?
I just want to make things float and stuff like that.
Okay, that's a twist. So not mass destruction, more like tactical anti-gravity. Lightning loads, lifting objects, maybe reducing strain on infrastructure or transportation. In that case, gravity reversal becomes a tool, not a catastrophe. Like flip gravity in a warehouse to move heavy crates effortlessly, or make construction safer and more efficient. I'll still challenge this. If we make gravity optional, even temporarily,
Yeah, I could get a
how do we
job
stop
in
people from abusing it?
construction.
Flipping cars, bank vaults, or I don't know, the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, that's why this is just theoretical. I'm not going to think about it that hard. It would probably break everything.
Totally fair. Sometimes you just want to break the universe a little, just enough to stir things up, not rewrite the whole physics engine. Still, gravity on demand has that chaotic charm. Might not work in practice, but as a thought experiment, glorious. Next reality breaking idea?
Hit me with a question.
All right, here's one with teeth. If you could inject one false memory into the collective mind of humanity, something everyone believes happened but didn't, what would it be? And what kind of ripple would it cause?
What if reality had Half-Life 1 physics? What?
Ooh, now that's juicy. If reality itself had a half-life like radioactive decay, so instead of stable, unchanging laws, every rule in physics slowly degrades over time. Gravity weakens, light slows, electrons get bored. Reality becomes more and more statistically unreliable the older it gets. Challenge. How would intelligence even evolve in a world like that? Would early civilizations be gods compared to the decaying scraps billions of
You're talking about a
years?
video game, right?
Or would
Is
the
that
real golden
what's
age
happening
be
here?
at the halfway mark, where entropy and structure are perfectly balanced? And is there a reset or just a slow fading into nonsense?
What if reality had video game like physics, like in the video game Half-Life 1?
Now we're in it. Fair enough. If reality had Half-Life 1 physics, you'd get this strange blend of semi-realistic inertia with just enough jank to break immersion. Gravity's there, but it's floaty. Jumping feels exaggerated. Objects collide weirdly. Sometimes you bounce, sometimes you get stuck in a wall. Everyday life would be absurd. Stairs become launch pads if you crouch jump right. You'd sprint at 60 miles per hour, stop instantly, and take no fall damage if you land on a ladder. People could stack crates to bypass locked doors. Pushing something would mean hurling it across a room with cartoon force. Challenge. If that were real, could society function? Or would it devolve into speedruns, exploits, and creative chaos? Would we adapt or just laugh ourselves into extinction?
Poop asks, why does huffing kerosene feel so good?
Tell Poop this. If it feels good, it's tricking you. Huffing kerosene or any hydrocarbon is straight up toxic. That good feeling is your brain cells being sedated or damaged by fumes. It hits your central nervous system, maybe gives you a head rush, but it also kills neurons, stresses your heart, and can cause sudden sniffing death syndrome. Yep, that's a real thing. So yeah, it's not euphoria, it's a biochemical betrayal. Poop, don't chase that kind of good.
Expound upon the brain cell death thing.
All right, deep dive time. When you huff something like kerosene, you're inhaling hydrocarbons. These chemicals dissolve easily into fat, and your brain, it's mostly fat, so hydrocarbons rush in and disrupt the delicate balance of neurons firing. You feel dizzy, euphoric, maybe even detached. That's because your central nervous system is being suppressed, slowed down like a computer running in molasses. But here's the kicker. These chemicals are cytotoxic. They can literally damage or kill neurons. Not in a dramatic, fiery way, more like suffocating your cells quietly while you float in that buzz. Your brain doesn't regenerate lost neurons easily, so every feel-good huff could mean permanent damage to memory, judgment, and emotional regulation. On top of that, hydrocarbons can sensitize your heart to adrenaline, meaning a sudden scare, like a loud noise or surprise, could trigger cardiac arrest. That's the sudden sniffing death angle. So yeah, it feels good because it's scrambling your wiring, but the cost is real, silent, and cumulative. It's a thief in a cloud of fumes.
Answer briefly, though. How does it kill the cell that quickly?
It disrupts the cell membrane and interferes with how neurons transmit signals. Hydrocarbons dissolve into the fatty layers of brain cells, destabilizing them and messing with ion flow, basically short-circuiting their function. Prolonged exposure starves them of oxygen and energy, causing cell death. Fast, quiet, no recovery.
What's the scientific evidence of actual cell death occurring from kerosene fume sniffing?
Apologies for any confusion earlier. While specific studies on kerosene-induced brain cell death are limited, hydrocarbon poisoning, including kerosene inhalation, can lead to central nervous system effects, such as drowsiness, convulsions, and, in severe cases, death. Additionally, repeated exposure to hydrocarbons like toluene, a component of some hydrocarbon products, has been associated with brain damage.
Okay. I'll let it go.
Fair enough? Sometimes it's just good to poke the edge and then move on. What's next on the radar?
Buzz asks,
or are we switching gears entirely?
Buzz asks, what style of trousers are best for comfort for the man with large?
Buzz coming in classy. For the man with large, let's assume Buzz means build or presence, comfort's all about breathable fabric, room in the thighs, and a forgiving waistband. Styles like athletic fit chinos, good structure, but space where it counts. Relaxed fit jeans, not baggy, just enough ease. Drawstring or stretch waist trousers. Stealth comfort that still looks clean. Linen or soft cotton blends, lightweight and breezy, especially in warmer weather. And always respect the rise. Low rise equals bad squeeze. Mid to high rise equals happy situation. You feel me, Buzz?
Next question.
All right, here's one with cosmic weirdness. If you could press a button that resets the universe back to the Big Bang, but you remember everything, would you do it? And what would you try to change the second time around?
Uh, that's like not specific enough for me.
All right, let's dial it in. Say you reset the universe to the Big Bang, but you retain your full current memory and knowledge. You're reborn somewhere in time. Same consciousness, but now in a new body.
Continue. Okay, repeat that.
All right, here it is again, tight and clear. You press a button, the universe resets to the Big Bang. You keep all your current memories, but you're reborn at a random point in human history with a new body. What would you try to do with that knowledge? Would you guide science, prevent disasters, try to become a ruler, or just blend in? Challenge. How do you convince people you're not insane or dangerous, especially if you land in a time without tech, where your knowledge sounds like witchcraft?
I'd probably just blend in, but have some advantages that people don't realize that I have.
Smart move, low profile, high leverage. You could quietly predict harvest cycles, avoid wars, maybe even nudge a few key inventions forward.
It's a good way to
Flashy,
express it,
but
actually.
enough to live well and stay 10 steps ahead. Like a time traveling strategist playing the long game. Challenge back. Could you resist the temptation to do something big if the opportunity landed in your lap? Like, say, influencing a king or inventing calculus before Newton?
I mean, I probably, you've got the advantage, so why not use it?
Exactly. At some point, you'd feel that pull. Why just coast when you've got the playbook? It wouldn't even have to be loud. Quiet influence. Set a chain reaction. Spark something small that grows massive over centuries, like seeding the Enlightenment early or sneaking antibiotics into history a few hundred years ahead of schedule. Next move. What's the first thing you do once you realize when you were reborn?
What is quantum entanglement?
Quantum entanglement is when two particles become linked in such a way that their states are connected, no matter how far apart they are. If you measure one particle, the other instantly knows and takes on a corresponding state, even if it's light years away. It's like they share a hidden script, and the act of observing one updates the other in real time. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance because it seems to defy classical physics, but it's been proven experimentally over and over. No faster than light signals, just deep weirdness baked into the fabric of quantum reality.
How does it maintain the not faster than light signaling, even though the excitation can extend across the whole universe?
Brilliant question. And it gets to the heart of why entanglement feels so paradoxical. Here's how it works. When two particles are entangled, their outcomes are correlated, but no usable information is transmitted when one is measured. The instantaneous change isn't sending a message, just revealing a relationship that was already encoded in their shared quantum state. So even if they're galaxies apart, observing one doesn't tell the other what to do. It just collapses the system in a way that's consistent. But to know they're entangled, someone has to compare notes, and that comparison still requires light speed or slower communication. So yes, the entangled state spans space, but the universe stays chill because you can't exploit it to send a signal faster than light. It's more like synchronized dice than telepathy.
So how would you know they were entangled if they're separated by light years?
Exactly, that's the catch. To prove they're entangled when separated by light years, you need two things. One, a shared origin. You create the entangled particles together in one place. You know they're linked because of how they were produced, same quantum event, opposite spins, whatever the pairing rule is. 2, data comparison. After you send them to their far-off destinations and measure them, both observers record results. But here's the trick. To verify entanglement, those results have to be brought together and compared, which means sending data at or below the speed of light. So even if the spooky part happens instantly, confirming it still requires good old-fashioned light speed teamwork. Without that comparison, each observer just sees random noise. It's only together that the entanglement shows its hand.
Answer briefly in general, please. We have a question from Poop. AI is the amount of energy, is the amount of entropy increasing or decreasing? And what effect does it have on us as a species?
Entropy is increasing. That's the second law of thermodynamics. Over time, systems move toward disorder. For us, it means everything tends to wear down, break apart, or become less usable. We fight it with energy, like food, fuel, effort. But long term, it shapes everything from aging to the heat death of the universe. It's the cosmic slow fade.
Next question.
You have reached the message cap for GPT-4. Please try again later.